Live.
We're live.
What is up, YouTube?
What's up?
So it's been a while since me and Jeff went live, so we thought holiday Monday, Labor Day, why not do that? So I'm just going to try and get on my own video so I can see you guys commenting, but we figured let's first talk about Vegas. And Jeff was just mentioning we need to get something to...
Just like a blinking sign.
Welcome to Vegas or something.
Yeah, well, we're still super amped about it. We're actually feeling pretty... It's weird. We're feeling comfortable.
Yeah, this is a new feeling.
Rather than like OREC when we're like, oh my god, is anybody coming?
And I think that part of that reason simply is this isn't our first rodeo now, so that helps a lot. And then otherwise, this one has kind of a more unique approach to it, I guess. So there's almost no template for us to follow, so we kind of get to blaze our own trail here. So, you know, we've been discussing it. One of the things that we're doing for our Vegas, sorry, I was just checking the comment section, but one of the things we were doing for Vegas is every single attendee is going to do their own little bio video. So that's something we haven't been talking a lot about yet, but the idea is, actually I guess just earlier today, Peter shared with us Max Carl's, and it was looking awesome. And I'm just really excited. The fact that every single person is going to get a little video introduction means that ideally, you'll already know a bunch of the people before you even show up. You're already going to have that connection with them, because at the end of the day, we really do believe that the most value you're going to get from this event is from the people you meet, the connections you're going to make, and just the conversations you'll have. And so if there's any way we can speed that up through, say, these video introductions, that's the kind of stuff that we want to bring to Vegas, just to really allow you guys to dive deep into that relationship building. And so one new thing, we kind of talked about it at a high level, Jeff, already, but I'm going to come out with a new podcast or video segment on my YouTube channel that, again, is just going to be kind of a mastermind interview, and it's just going to be interviewing people that are coming to Vegas. Because, yeah, we were just kind of talking, you know, we don't have a ton of headline names right now for Vegas, but I don't think that that's really what we want it to be about. We want every single person to be approachable, someone that you can actually do a business deal with, someone that you can actually create a relationship with. So I think that's what's going to really be separating Vegas apart from a lot of the other things. And so right now, one of the best ways for you to get your tickets is just DM either of us on Instagram, and we'll hook you guys up with a link. Hey Lee, what's up? Appreciate you jumping in the comment section.
Yeah, Lee's coming.
Yeah, so Lee's in, so that's awesome. So Lee, if Peter hasn't already reached out to you, I was talking to him yesterday, and he's going to be reaching out to you to do your introduction video. And yeah, it's just kind of your opportunity to introduce yourself to the other 60 to 100 attendees that are going to be coming out to the Vegas Mastermind. You know, the sort of thing, from our perspective, every single person that's coming to the Vegas Mastermind has something to offer, whether it's time, money, or an opportunity, or a deal. And that's what we kind of want to showcase with these video introductions. You know, for example, for myself, mine would kind of be, you know, hey guys, I'm McKeever here. I got this YouTube channel with like 12,000 people, so I'm a little bit of an influencer. But then beyond that, you know, doing the real estate investing in London, Ontario, looking to expand into Windsor, maybe Chatham. Beyond that, I probably have, you know, X amount of dollars, let's say $50,000 to $100,000, that I would consider investing in a really interesting opportunity or a unique business idea from one of my fellow Vegas attendees. And that's just kind of stuff that we want people to highlight so that everyone kind of knows what everyone else is bringing to the table, so that you can meet the right people, create the right connections, and create long-term relationships, and really take your shit to the next level. Hey Cam, appreciate you jumping in the comment section. Saw David Ocho was asking, what do you think about buying land and building new apartments? Something we always think about. It's something you could talk about at the Vegas Mastermind.
Well, okay, remember last week somebody wanted to join venture with us in general? And we asked, are you coming to Vegas? And then they threw that away right away, actually. And it's like, you don't want to invest in ourselves and our network here, but you want us to join venture with you in buying the apartment building and the land, or whatever that looks like. It could be a straws to a restaurant business, or windows in a Miami condo. It doesn't matter, right? Like whatever it is, like I kind of want to be investing with the people that are coming to Las Vegas versus the people that just call me in and say, oh, I can't do that.
Yeah, well, I think Vegas is a really good way to cut through the noise, right? Yeah. Just because we got a lot of people constantly trying to get our attention. I know our buddy Graham has even way more people trying to get his attention. And now that we've even kind of shone the light a bit on John in Windsor from Seed Development, he's been getting, he just like, I was talking to him last week because I think last week was when my first Windsor videos came out, and he said like his phone was just ringing off the hook. You know, he got so many emails and stuff. And that's kind of what this Vegas thing is about. It's a way for you to know that everyone's going to be at that hotel. And I guess I didn't really describe it for any of you that aren't familiar already, but what we're doing is we're buying out a hotel for 2 days in Vegas. So the only people that are going to be on the hotel grounds are going to be people attending our event. So immediately that's just going to be a really fast way for you to break the ice and get chatting with people that are serious about doing shit. And Vegas for us is kind of one of the easy little, you know, benchmarks or hurdles we can put in front of people just to kind of get them to commit and be serious about, you know, coming to Vegas, and also prove that they're serious about their time and our time, right? Because we value our time. It's one of the most valuable things we got.
Yeah, and this week I was talking to a guy that's looking to come, and he's worth just under $9 million. And he's like our age, pretty much. So this is a person you could have a talk with. You can tell him to come over and do the food truck business with you, and maybe he'll lend you money or whatever that is. That you're gonna want to be in Vegas in order to talk to these people, because you're not gonna find them out here in London, Ontario. You're not gonna find them in Toronto at our meetups. That they're specifically coming to Las Vegas, and they know that everybody else around them is committed right away.
Yeah.
They're not just people saying, "Oh yeah, I'm an investor." You know?
Yeah.
You get a lot, you know.
100%. It's just so hard to separate the wheat from the chaff, right? Like there's just so many people. It's really easy in one Instagram or one text or one phone call to pretend like you're all that. You know?
The names that are on my board up here, I'm pumped that they're coming. So
yeah.
Like from Lee all the way to John and Alicia, right? Like I am pumped that they're coming.
Yeah, 100%. And so Lee was just asking about how many people do we got committed already. So we have 15% that are sold. They've already paid for their ticket. We got another 15% that's reserved and billed, which they're people we trust that are coming. So essentially, we're already 30% sold out, which is really exciting for us because that's essentially just what we've been able to accomplish during our pre-sale, when all I'd done was mention it on one live video earlier this month. You mentioned it a bit on your Instagram DMs, but we really haven't been
no ads,
pushing it.
No ad spend.
No,
just
yeah,
little word about it.
And so similar to what we did at OREC, and actually we haven't had a chance to discuss this yet, Jeff, but I was kind of writing out the marketing copy for sponsors and sponsorship opportunities for Vegas this weekend, and I'm leaning towards doing the OREC thing again, where we essentially just spend no money on advertising. You know that everyone that's there is 1 or 2 degrees of separation away from you, because it's just going to be such a faster way for you to build a trusting relationship with these people, because it's like, hey, you know Matt, I know Matt, or hey, you know Matt, I know Jeff, you know, like, you're only like 2 or 3 degrees of separation from there versus just a random stranger on, you know, a generic trade hall floor.
Well, that was the beauty about OREC, because you can walk from the front to into the hall without everybody talking to each other. Like I just one time paused and like heard the chatter and like how much business was going on between people I don't even know. And that's the beauty of what you and I are able to put together, like hosting this party pretty much.
It's just going to be such a unique experience. I'm really excited by it. Again, I don't believe that there's anything else like it in the world, honestly. Like, we're just trying to create something extremely different. And the idea is, you know, this is the Frosh Week for entrepreneurs. This is the slumber party, or the mastermind slumber party. And I forget there was a third catchphrase I came up with earlier. I got it written down.
There's a few like agents out there that they're waiting on a commission sale so that they can buy their ticket and that kind of stuff. They're really using this as a motivator in the next 60 days to be, they're like, I'm going to be in Vegas, you watch. You know? It's like, that's fun to see. The people are working in their day jobs or whatever that is, extra hard, side hustles, just so they can buy a Vegas ticket.
So. And actually, I think that's also a great point. If you are one of those people that's going to come in, you're going to do something in order to make sure you get that ticket, like, let us know. We'd love to document that journey potentially, make for a fun piece of content for everyone. But I know I was talking earlier today to Michael Rosehart, who I think is just going to be way too frugal, cheap, to buy a Vegas ticket. And I was like, man, just make it happen. I know that, I know you can afford it, but beyond that, why not just offer to have a roommate with someone, do the roommate thing. It's only $23 or $22 or $2,300 for 2 tickets plus like double bed room, and mentor that person for the weekend. So I think that even if, you know, your frugality habits are gonna hold you back from this, just figure out a way to make it happen. You know, that's a great option for Michael Rosehart. I'm sure it's a great option for lots of other people in our network. And yeah, just rather than find an excuse, find a solution, right?
No, there's people that put up the wall right away. Like, no,
Yeah.
that's for somebody else. And I used to think that too. Like on certain things.
Yeah, you know, our mindset's constantly evolving, so it's just something to be aware of. But I think we've always seen the value in networking and building relationships, but now we're starting to really see the value in bringing, you know, just groups of smart people together, kind of creating that container event where you spend the night or the weekend together, and then see what sort of magic comes from it. So, I saw Cam was asking, how long have I been growing out the beard? It's not been that long, to be honest.
If we saw one tonight, we'll shave his beard live.
Yeah, I totally would do that. It actually is surprising. It took me like a lifetime to be able to grow facial hair, then once it clicked, I don't know why it clicked, but it clicked this year, and I probably had my beard cut 2 or 3 times this year already. So like I would say that this is less than, I could totally redo this, and if we cut it tonight, I would be able to redo it by Vegas. I'd have the same or bushier beard. So yeah, I'm really happy that I can grow facial hair like a man now. I saw someone was asking the last time that we were in Windsor. So myself and Adam Martin were in Chatham 2 weeks ago. Adam was back in Chatham last week, and we're going to Windsor this Thursday to hang out with John again. So we'll be shooting some more content with John. There's a bunch more videos coming out with John, aka the King of Windsor. That's what I got on my phone as, because he is crushing it in Windsor. So really excited by Windsor. It seems like a really unique market, especially with these student rentals. It just seems like a perfect opportunity to dip a toe in and hopefully make some money. So there's a bit more going on in the comments. So right now, me and Jeff don't own a single property in Windsor, but we're looking to correct that in the near future.
It's like a cash flow to go show.
Yeah, I just figured we'd do a little bit of everything. So like, do we do any investing in the States?
Who remembers the cash flow to go show?
Yeah.
Leave us a comment.
So yeah, we don't do any investment in the States. Again, it's just, we've kind of been focusing on our niche, which is London, Ontario. Just invested out of province in Alberta. That's definitely the furthest that any of us have invested. Yeah, so Lee's been investing with John. It's actually how we ended up kind of meeting John in the first place, was at the Wind City event. I think Lee kind of planted a bug in my ear as well as John's that we need to meet up. Definitely was worth it. So Dirty Burger, we rented out or bought out the Artisan Hotel, so it's a boutique hotel just off the strip. It's really close to the Vegas Convention Center, so I think it's also like the SLS Sands or whatever that one is. I don't know Vegas that well. It seemed very conveniently located and everything, but the real thing is, this is like a cruise ship on land. Like, it's really about, it's a non-gambling hotel, and to be honest, that's not a drawback to us, that's a bonus, because we want people really spending the time building the relationships, not pulling a slot.
Well, we looked at them all, right? We looked at penthouses at the Caesars, and we looked at the Bellagio, and we kind of thought, well, if we're just in like the conference areas down at the Bellagio, do you guys want to be hanging out in the gray boardrooms and like you're at a mastermind? We'll give you a little lanyard and it's going to feel very corporate-y. But then we presented this opportunity to buy out 63 rooms, and I thought, this is pretty cool. It's ours, okay? Like, it's just off the strip. You can get to the strip in like, 10 minutes tops?
Yeah, that'd be like from the hotel, if you're walking, Like, it's literally...
cab drive would be like a minute?
Yeah, it's I was looking at it, it was under a $10 Uber, so like, it was literally
it's 1 kilometer.
Yeah, so it's literally a click.
So you could walk it, or you just get an Uber and go. Because once you get to the strip, if you've never been there, there's lots of options, so you kind of want to know what you want to go to first.
But yeah, it was close to the airport and stuff, so it was a quick little Uber drive from there, which was nice. It's a really unique hotel. It's got, a great pool and kind of set up around the pool. It's got a chapel where we can, have some breakout sessions. It's got a couple different meeting rooms. and then a couple of nice suites that we'll be able to convert into just lounges for more in-depth or intense networking. Honestly, it's really going to come down to just, if you're going to attend Vegas, if you're thinking about attending Vegas, really put in the effort up front to be prepared for it. And so the best way to do that is take advantage of the private teachable courses that we're going to be rolling out in the near future that'll have every single person's bio, video. Listen to the podcast. I'm going to be doing the Mastermind podcast where I'll be interviewing anyone that's coming to Vegas and is willing to do a podcast with me. And we're just going to really try and build up the experience. I want you guys to walk away from this feeling like you didn't spend a weekend, but you actually spent like months with these people. And so we're really going to try and, speed up your ability to build that networking relationship and actually build a deeper relationship. And, what we want to be able to do is for Vegas 2019, showcase all the amazing business partnerships and success stories that came from it. I know that we're going to be able to do that with OREC because, funny enough, one of the guys that's working with Seed Developments now, John in Windsor, is Raymond. And so Raymond, I don't know if you remember this, Jeff, but he was the guy we called onto the stage at OREC, right? So
he had nothing, right?
Right? Yeah, and so at that time he had nothing, and he said he just wanted to be introduced to someone that was crushing it. And it turned out it wasn't us, but someone else at OREC ended up introducing Raymond to John. And now Raymond's got this really great looking student rental that's just going to crush it. He actually just rented out a bedroom for, I forget, John was telling me it was either like $650 or $750 for one bedroom in a student rental. So I know him and John were really excited by it. And that's just going to be one of the stories that we can document about the success that people had from OREC. And the only difference about Vegas is because it's such a smaller group, because it's a more intimate atmosphere, I literally want every single person to have a success story that attends Vegas. And so that's why we're doing these video bios. That's why I want to do the interviews in the mastermind so that I can get to know you guys better, so that I know exactly who to introduce you to, so I know exactly what sort of information to provide you with or who to sit you beside. It's just, we really want to play matchmaker when it comes to the Vegas experience. So, yeah. Just looking at a little bit more comments. Matt, how much of an interest increase will hurt your BRRRR leveraging? So yeah, good question, Cam. Every interest increase doesn't help my BRRRR, but it doesn't drastically hurt me. So, we really focus on the 1% rule with our investing in London, Ontario. And so what that looks like is, I kind of associate with, I could take a 30% hit in rent and still be cash flow break even. So if you kind of want to do that mental math, I don't know what that would look like. At least a few interest point raises, wouldn't really even rock the boat. Once we start getting close to double digits, that would be very concerning, but I think if we got to double digit territory, there'd be a lot bigger concerns than just my portfolio. I think it would be like society or at least nationwide the concerns, and there'd be all sorts of issues and just problems that would arise from that that would be much bigger than just my own little bubble. It would be kind of a nation or worldwide concern at that point if we're getting back into double digits. So interest rates, I honestly don't pay that much attention to them. When I first started investing in real estate, it was one of the only things I was really concerned about, and we would push and negotiate so hard with the bank to squeeze out, 0.15 of basis points or whatever. But now it's almost the last thing that I'm concerned about when buying the property. I'm more focused on where's my financing come from, how does that fit into my long-term plan of buying more properties, can I BRRRR this property, all that. So the interest rates actually aren't that big of a concern with my investment strategy. Yeah. Hey, Batwood, appreciate you jumping in the comment section. Neither Jeff or I are citizens, to my knowledge. So I use CIBC and Bank of Nova Scotia. I think Bank of Nova Scotia is the friendliest bank right now for investors. I don't know who you use.
For investing?
Yeah.
CIBC. Should we do a limo tour in Windsor in September?
Oh yeah, we've been talking that we want to do a limo tour in September. We did 2 in July, so we took August off, but now it's time to get back at it. So yeah, let us know. We could do one in Windsor, we could do one in Chatham, we could do kind of a one in both cities. It's also been Feels like a while since we've done London. Been a while since we did Waterloo. I'd like to squeeze into Hamilton at some point. So.
And Vegas is going to be here before you know it.
Yeah.
So we're not going to want to do November for the most part.
Yeah, we'll definitely be skipping November.
But we'll probably do it September, October. So let us know what cities you guys.
Yeah. So let us know. Do you want us to come down and check out what Lee, John, and Raymond are up to in Windsor?
Well, Lee wrote yes.
Yeah. And yeah, I'm really excited by the Vegas thing, but you're right, we don't want to lose sight of the limo tour. I think it would be fun to do one where we leave from London again, either go to Windsor, do the Windsor thing, then come up, stop in Chatham for a bit, and just like at least touch upon Chatham, because I think there's so many people that just have never even stopped in Chatham, because it's not right on the highway, right? So you don't drive through it the way you kind of drive through London, Ontario, or Woodstock,
All the
or
other
other
cities all the way to
on the 401, right? Yeah. Yeah. I think we should probably do Windsor.
Okay.
So let us know though, because I know you guys have been loving the videos that I've been doing with John from Windsor. So if you guys would like us to do a special limo tour, maybe we should literally just do a student rental special edition with John. See how that goes. I got a feeling that would be very popular.
Well, considering he had 50 phone calls,
Yeah.
maybe you'll be on my limo.
So Vlad was asking if we've ever considered teaming up with multiple partners to buy a big rental property. Yeah, it's definitely something we've looked at in the past. We've put in a few offers, just nothing's ever stuck yet. So we're still always open to suggestions or opportunities. So if you guys ever have an opportunity for a multifamily property in Southwestern Ontario, particularly if it's doing 1% or better, definitely that would be something that would be of interest to us. So feel free to reach out to us and DM us on Instagram. The only thing I find frustrating these days is I get all these DMs like, Matt, I got a really awesome opportunity here, and you know, it maybe will take me a day or two to call back simply because I get a lot of DMs now. And I'll call back, or like I'll call them from my cell phone or whatever, and be like, hey man, saw your DM on Instagram about this opportunity, like tell me, what is it? And I'll just never hear anything back again. I'm just like, it's so easy compared to what it would have been 10, 20 years ago to get someone like ours attention, that when you get our attention, just make the most of it, I think, right? One little pet peeve I've had recently.
It's like the Kijiji of it.
Yes, or like let go. You know the flaky people on let go?
Yes, it's available. Crickets. That was your only question?
Is it available? And you respond within 30 seconds, you're like, yes, available. Negotiable on price? Yes, I will, whatever price you want. Just like,
come get it, man.
I want to let this shit go. And they still just play.
Have you noticed the desk sitting right there? Those 15 Kijiji people, I got it.
Oh, I wonder what's going on.
And everybody was like, nah.
Because I thought it looked like a decent desk, actually.
I put on a pair, but it'll be gone in a minute.
Yeah. That's funny.
What's the measurements? It's a desk. I don't know, like 4.5. If you want it or not, it's $15.
Cam's telling us to do Detroit.
Oh, that's sick.
If anyone's a realtor or knows a decent realtor based out of Detroit, we would love to. Like, I would love to do multiple limo tours in Detroit, to be honest. I'd love one that's just clickbaity as fuck, where we're going to look at properties that are all we could just buy in cash, right? Like, there's $1, $10, like those crazy deals that we hear about. I would love to.
Those?
I don't know. Let us know if you're from Detroit, because we would love to learn more about it. The only thing is, you know, we're not going to learn everything about the Detroit market just to make one video, so that's where strategic partners are really important for us. So we really do need someone that's boots on the ground in Detroit if we're going to try and
How would we logistically do that? Like, you need to drive across the border yourself and meet
No,
us?
I think we could all go across.
Just across the middle.
Think about the clickbait. Just
Who forgot their passport?
Put
your passport up in your
Are you guys here for business or pleasure? That might get us into trouble, though. I don't know how that would fly. That'd be fun, though. I like that.
Call ahead. So, anybody buying Vegas or what?
So yeah, lots of questions going on. So Rock Radio was telling us, do you realize that you're using the same techniques that Dave Ramsey used 30 years ago? And are you aware he went bankrupt borrowing, leveraging? No, I actually don't know a ton about Dave Ramsey, to be honest. That wouldn't shock me. At the end of the day, I think it really comes down to, are your properties cash flowing? And I kind of touched upon it earlier in this video that my biggest concern is cash flow. So I can survive, you know, a 30%, 40% reduction in gross rents and still be break even. That's not the reason I started investing in real estate, so that wouldn't be an ideal scenario. However, I don't see a dramatic pullback in rent prices. So I don't know if Dave Ramsey at the time was focusing on just the appreciation play. If you're thinking that we're solely focused on appreciation plays here in London, Ontario, I think you misunderstand our business model. Beyond that though, at the end of the day, is the argument that real estate investing is always a bad idea? Is that the flip side of that coin that you're presenting me? Because if that's the case, you know, there's a ton of people that have really grown their financial wealth through real estate investing as being the core principle or one of the core principles to that wealth growth or wealth generation. So, you know, is there risk involved with real estate investing? Absolutely. There's always risk involved with any type of investing, particularly if it's active or semi-active, the way real estate investing is. However, do I think that you should let one person's experiences, even if they're famous, even if they're a well-known spokesperson, hold you back from investing in real estate? If it makes sense, if numbers make sense, I think you should lean into it, but that's just my perspective. What schooling would you go into if you wanted to be a real estate investor, Jeff?
Well, networking groups, there's official ones like RAIN, Real Estate Investment Network, or just there might be other local things. I think that's in Ottawa. Other meetup groups, you don't want to search meetup.com, and these are kind of, there's no necessarily schooling, but I guess economics would be. Yeah,
like I would think if you're really just focused on real estate investing, you know, obviously deciding to become a realtor could be a helpful avenue, or I think myself as an accountant, you know, getting to know numbers really well could be useful. I think becoming an appraiser or a home inspector could also be a very useful skill set, but I don't think that there's like a university course we would point to and say.
And then all those are different a bit, right?
Yeah, and so all those are just covering one corner of the pie.
Following Matt McKeever's YouTube channel is a
one
good start
yeah.
to your career. Matt University.
There we go.
Or there's that real estate rat pack.
Yeah, real estate rat pack. So yeah, definitely if you're looking at trying to get into private deals and stuff, in the video description on this video you can check it out. There's a link to our blueprint to wholesaling. And so a lot of people get confused about what wholesaling real estate is, and it means a lot of different things to a lot of different people. But the way we're describing it is wholesaling real estate at the end of the day, fundamentally the basic principle there is getting good private deals. And so myself as a real estate investor, the deal is the most important part of the formula. If you got a great deal, usually you can find the money to execute on it. So by focusing on that part of the equation, getting the best deals, I think is one of the best ways to grow your portfolio and just your knowledge base as a real estate investor. So if you're interested in getting private deals, definitely check out that course. It's a $200 discount code right now in this video description, so you can buy it for $300 Canadian. That's like free for Americans, but I know you commented that you were from Ottawa. But yeah, so.
But if you're becoming an agent, I also have a course on this.
Yeah. Did you ever raise your price?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
So, but if you guys want the raised price discount,
it's still really low.
Super cheap. I've been getting tons of people bought the course, my realtor course, without even knowing. I was explaining to you off camera. They don't even know who I was. Most people know who I am from Instagram or YouTube or something, or a meetup group in person. This guy went backwards. Someone in Ottawa actually told him to buy my course, and then he's from Windsor. He's watching it. And he's like, "This guy's from London." And then he reached out to me, and I had a call with him, and I gave him a bit of a coaching call because
that's just so great. Like I just can't that blows my mind because I guess I always thought that people who are going to buy our courses would be one-to-one relationships. Yeah. So that's so awesome to hear that it's actually scaling and that your reach is even greater than we realized. So
crazy.
And you know,
well, if you're a junior agent, the course is great for you. So if anybody's looking to become a real estate agent, hit me up on Instagram and I'll give you the coupon code.
And if anyone's just trying to get closer to Jeff's hair, the Vegas Mastermind, as Max mentioned in his bio video, great opportunity to get your photo taken with Jeff's hair by coming out to Vegas. So also think about that. So what else? So someone was asking about a mini OREC over the winter. We've been thinking about some stuff like that.
Well, it's not a real estate conference or Ontario real estate conference.
Yeah.
But obviously we have Vegas. We're also teasing about.
There's going to be a Costa Rica event.
Costa Rica.
That's going to be obviously more pricey because it's in Costa Rica, but it's going to involve myself, Jeff at times, maybe Graham Stephan at times, Matt Pichet, and just like a really more, what would be the best way to describe it? It's going to be like literally one-on-one or like a couple to one, like where like you might be able to get like just myself and Matt Pichet in a room, and we'll just talk to you about real estate investing for a couple hours straight.
I could be wrong, but my crystal ball says it's like a champion of the Vegas Mastermind, and then goes on to the Costa Rica. But I could be completely wrong, and that person could be from left field because they saw the Vegas stuff and they're like, oh my god, what else can I do?
Yeah.
And they're gonna be like, only, what is it? How much is it gonna be? $1 million?
For which?
For Costa Rica.
Yeah, I don't even want to say it because I don't know, but like it's only gonna be
just under 500,000. Oh, a few grand.
So, and it'll be more than Vegas, but it'll be less than most other people's coaching programs.
Well, if anybody's having trouble buying their Vegas ticket, because it's like a, you know,
it's more than
if you're a 20-year-old or something, it's a lot of money out of your pocket on right away. But what I've done for a few people when they've hit me up, I've got them on a payment plan, so they put down a deposit, a down payment, and then they owe the rest before the event, pretty much. So locks them in.
Yeah. And a great way that, you know, if you just want...
You can reverse it now.
Yeah.
And you'd be like, okay, well, I only owe $250 every couple of weeks or whatever, so...
Yeah, so there's lots of options
sell that
there.
desk that I have.
But circling back to the... sell the desk, literally, you could probably just sell shit that's in your room right now that you're not using, and you could pay for your Vegas ticket.
So, I bet you I could get $10 for this on Kijiji right now.
Yeah, probably.
At least.
I was gonna say, I think this one might still even have, oh no, none of them still have the tags. Boom, if we could say the Graham's won this before, we could probably sell that for...
worn the hat to a bar.
For all we know, this could have Graham's DNA on it as we speak. You could clone yourself a mini Graham from this hat.
Lexus's grow under that.
But yeah, I've been thinking about the idea of expanding OREC to more than once a year, but right now, if you guys haven't already bought your tickets, we've announced the date, so there's a link in the video description down below. The first 25 people, I think we've already had 11 or 12 of them sell, so we're about 50% sold. That buy the super pre-sale special deal thing, it's the absolute cheapest price you'll be able to buy a ticket for. Plus you get access to all our video content from OREC 2018, so that you can kind of, you know, whether you attended it and just forgot some shit, whether you attended it and didn't get to see all the presentations, or whether you missed out on it, this is your opportunity to kind of dive deeper into it. But if you're looking to scratch that OREC itch in the near future, Ontario Landlords Watch is doing their own conference October 21st. That's from like noon till 6 p.m. Ontario Landlords Watch, if you're a landlord in Ontario, you should really strongly think about attending this event. They're doing some great stuff to help us landlords band together and just get more control and influence over politics, because for the longest time, a lot of us were just kind of lone wolves and we weren't really banding together, and that made it really difficult for our voice to be heard by politicians, whether on a local, provincial, or federal level. So definitely check that out. If you're not part of the Facebook group and you're an Ontario landlord, check it out on Facebook group. You have to join this group, Ontario Landlords Watch. Tons of useful information, tons of friendly people there. So, but if you guys would like us to bring OREC to other cities, I'm open to hearing about that. So let us know. We're open to ideas and suggestions.
It has to be in Ontario.
For it to be an OREC, I guess.
Yeah. An OREC.
Yeah. Although I'm sure I can bend that.
AREC.
Well, I just think like OREC, like the overall real estate conference. See, I mean acronyms. That's where you go with acronyms rather than
salesman.
Yeah.
Also, Sean Allen's event will be starting up again on RIA. So if you're a Londoner,
do you know, does that start in September? I assume it does.
Mid-September's gonna have one.
Which is great because the real meetup group, we're actually taking September off for a month. So yeah.
Holy acronyms.
We love our acronyms, guys.
The real.
The real. Yeah. Jeff, any thoughts on the Ottawa or Montreal real estate market?
Not a subject matter expert.
Yeah.
I would think Ottawa's got to be pretty good still. Obviously, you have embassies and diplomats and
yeah, and there's a decent tech sector in Ottawa too.
So there's tons of government contracts that people probably come, pay furnished rentals, and don't give a damn pretty
Yeah, I would think if they haven't outlawed Airbnb in Ottawa, I would think that that'd be a very interesting opportunity, or other short-term rental platforms. That would, because you guys know I'm all about Airbnb right now. There's gonna be a ton more content coming out on my channel about Airbnb in the near future, and I just think it's one of the best ways to make some money right now in real estate. So, yeah. So yeah, I don't know. Montreal's a sweet city.
A limo tour.
Yeah, if you're a real estate investor or a real estate agent in Montreal and you've got your finger on the pulse, we would love an excuse to come to Montreal. We just need expert matter.
I seem to know luxury agents in Montreal, but not investor type agents.
Yeah.
So,
Just so Instagram. Actually, though, John might be able to give us an introduction.
Oh,
because
right,
he was
right,
already
right.
in Montreal.
Yeah. And he's got those friends that might be coming to Vegas, right?
Yeah, true. Someone mentioned that Troy just needs RoboCop. I like that reference.
Wasn't filmed in Detroit. I don't think.
Probably not, but it was, I think,
Set,
right? Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay, cool. Kind of caught up on the comment section there. Well done, us. So yeah, otherwise, I've been trying to do some thinking on my YouTube channel recently. You know, what sort of direction should I be going with? You know, should I be documenting more of my projects? Should I just be trying to meet more investors and doing interviews? Should I try and rejig things and maybe come up with like, I kind of would like to do something. If you guys know Philip DeFranco, I would love, like, I would never be able to have the budget to do the production level on his scale, but I'd like to do some sort of like show where I can just talk about things and stuff. But I'm just not sure exactly what that looks like yet. So that's something I kind of want to do in the near future. If you guys have any other people or any other YouTubers you watch that have a really interesting format or approach to maybe covering a week's worth of events, or like they do a weekly update show or something, I'm not sure, guys. Let me know in the comment section, because I'd be down for some inspiration on that process.
Cool.
What else is going on in your YouTube world, Jeff?
Put out a bungee jumping video.
I saw, like, I assume you went bungee jumping a long time ago, though.
In 2010.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But I pretty much covered like how I did it and like taking the leap of faith, as was the name of the video. But like, how many times in your guys' life things are nervous, or people tell you don't to do something, and it doesn't have to be bungee jump, but they'd be like, OREC's stupid, or limo tours are dumb.
Why are you doing it in Vegas?
Why are you doing it in Vegas? What? See, you always get this noise, so I kind of had a video about that, and eventually, you know, I just took that jump, and you can see at the end of the video, I jumped off this giant dam. So.
And he lived to tell the tale. So.
Right, so that kind of gave it away.
Spoiler alert.
But no, did that. Did a live with Jamie on Friday or something like that. By the time I got on YouTube.
Right. Yeah.
And then sold like 3 houses on Thursday. That was nice.
So you ate 3 times then?
I got all my food in on Thursday. I stored up for the winter. Actually, one was a lease.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, a lease.
Why were you doing a lease?
Well, it was one of my, I had the listing, I brought in the buyer, okay. The buyer bought, I then stupidly promised that would help out, which turned into the Kijiji Nightmare Wars.
It's hard to get.
But then we put it on the MLS, and then, so I put it on the MLS.
Because they were looking?
No,
or
like the option to lease.
Oh, okay.
On the MLS. Got an agent who was like on me to make his $800, and I'm like, okay man, I'll be right there. And then I'm around a kitchen table going over a lease with people, and I'm like, oh my god.
Was it the new Ontario lease?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah. It's not that bad.
It's a lot.
The funny part, there's a lot of paperwork. There's only the first, I think there's like 16 or 17 pages, but the first 10 or something have
you can pretty much just ignore, yeah.
No, those ones you have to put stuff in. Then there's like the 6 pages of like reading, which nobody's ever read. And then, but the funny part is, you think these new leases are good for, I don't know, both parties, landlord and tenant, but the very end of the lease says, you can add on a piece of paper that says, do whatever the hell you want.
Yeah, and it still has to conform,
it would have to conform, and you'd have to be able to hold it up and later on.
But I definitely see what you're saying.
Okay, whatever.
Yeah.
I think you can go through all the paralegals and get like a good Appendix A for that, or whatever it's called, Schedule A. Couple properties to list tomorrow, so.
Yeah. Well, yeah, 1% income property in London, Ontario, if you're interested. Business partner of mine's looking to liquidate one of our properties, so.
It's got 4 units.
Yeah, 4 units, above 1% rule, nice tidy double lot, yada, yada, yada. Smokey was saying that I should talk more about things like if you're single. Yeah, definitely, that's something I could cover more often, is the perspective. I think that
He's gonna be single. He's got that video about wedding rings.
there you go. Yeah, no, I appreciate that feedback, because I guess for my thought process, I usually think it's easier to go about the financial independence, retired early, real estate thing as a single guy versus someone in a relationship. So I usually don't spend a lot of time thinking about how to discuss that.
There's some good examples of relationship people that are doing it.
Yeah, yeah, like Mike Rosard, who's got, you know, a young family. Yeah, so it's interesting that everyone's able to do it regardless of whether they're on the spectrum, but yeah, John and Alicia, yeah, and Matt and Cassidy, tons of people. But yeah, I can definitely start creating more content on
the best of it is there's no right answer.
Yeah,
does it like a
and
little
that's the key, is that far too many people are looking at it like it's a perfect recipe.
Checklist.
Right? Yes, a checklist that you have to do these exact. And I think that, you know, a long time ago that there was definitely people in our circle that thought it had to be checklist oriented and either thought they were being judged or were judging other people if they weren't following along the checklist or the recipe exactly.
I went on vacation. I'm gonna be out of the clique now.
And that's definitely, this is, you know, financial independence, retired early. It's not supposed to be a prescription, it's a choose your own adventure. And I think that that's really what I'd like people to see more of. So maybe that's something I should be highlighting more on my channel, that, you know, this was just my version of my choose my own adventure. Just because my choose my own adventure includes a lot of YouTubing, a lot of, you know, finding private real estate deals, hosting seminars and conferences and yada, yada, yada. That doesn't mean that that's the version you need to take on. Just what works for me, or at least works for me right now. So.
You might want to just sit in your backyard and read books all day.
Yeah, like Matt Pichet wants to, you know, get a place in Costa Rica and do the life coaching.
I was texting him Paris advice, right?
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because his wife.
Yeah, wife.
Wife is, you know, a history buff, and he says I'd rather just be on the beach with nobody around me and some palm trees, like not a resort, but just like the off the beaten path, rather than the hustle and bustle of Paris, France. So yeah, like he's compromising a bit, and then the next one would be on the beach with some palm trees. So.
Yeah, so yeah, there's a lot of different ways to get that satisfaction from your fire journey. So definitely worth getting that perspective on.
We're at an hour.
Yeah, 41 minutes. So yeah, if you want to take off, Jeff. It's been a while since I went live, so I kind of just feel like flexing the live muscles. Still got 18 people watching. Although only 5 of you have smashed the like button, so it'd be a lot cooler.
I bet you they haven't shared either. Have they shared?
I know, probably no one shared.
It's hate Matt's channel. Like, what's going on here?
No respect, Jeff. No respect, I tell you.
I'm just gonna check how much Vegas tickets we bought since this.
So yeah, Derek, definitely hit up Lee more about the student rental stuff, because it's definitely worth checking out. Or yeah, there's some videos on my YouTube channel. So Rock Radio was asking, at which point do you start paying off the principal on your properties, besides of course the minimum mortgage payment? Just curious if you do, or if you pay down and just refi. Yeah, good question. So, you know, I'll talk about what I'm doing right now, and then kind of what I think about how people should approach that. So what I'm doing right now is probably, it's hard to say. My student rental properties, we aggressively paid down the mortgages and then refied them after 5 years to access that equity to go buy more properties. Currently, essentially what I'll do is I'll BRRRR my properties up to the 1% rule, or around there. So, you know, if I'm getting $4,000 a month in gross rents and I can refinance it up to $400,000, if the bank will let me do that, I'll do it to that point. But if, say, the bank was willing to let me refi it up to $800,000, I probably wouldn't do that simply because it would now create, that property would no longer fit within like my investing metric. In that case, I would probably either have to look at, you know, if I want to access that equity, should I sell it, or kind of how to approach that. So what I'm doing currently right now is we're just paying off my properties. So no plans on refinancing the majority of them after the initial BRRRR. However, that being said, if you're starting the growing if you're starting your investing journey and you're just growing your portfolio right now, I think there's a lot of valid arguments for refinancing up to, say, an 80% loan to value. So you're still gonna have 20% equity in the property. So, you know, no one can predict if there is a correction, what that correction will look like. However, a 20% haircut in our market would be a decent haircut because we didn't see the same sort of appreciation that larger metro areas like Toronto and Vancouver have seen for the last, 6+ years. We've only really experienced it for the last 2+ years. That being said, there's definitely the risk that even with my burning to the 1% rule, that I could actually end up underwater on the property, which would simply mean I would just have to lose more than 20% equity in a correction, and then I'd be underwater. Now, the reason I wouldn't panic at that prospect simply is because my property should still be cash flowing, because I have only burned them up to that 1% rule. I didn't burn them to like 0.5% or 1/4% or something crazy like that. So I should still be able to make my mortgage payments as long as people still need shelter. And that's kind of how I approach it. Now, each person's going to have their own comfort level and their own risk tolerance, and so that's something you're going to need to take into consideration. It's just kind of what works for me. If I was starting all over again, I probably would be less timid in regards to refinancing those properties, simply because I now feel like I really understand leverage and the power that leverage gives us as real investors. Most of us would not be investing in real estate if we didn't have the opportunity to leverage. So, with that being said, I think the argument quickly becomes, why wouldn't more leverage be better, as long as it's still fitting within the metrics of what you want as an investor? So as long as it's still meeting the 1% rule for me, as long as I can still, say, take a 30% reduction in gross rents and meet my mortgage payments and be break even for myself, more debt seems not like that scary of a solution. And again, different investors will take different approaches, but what I do is probably roughly 50% of my mortgages are fixed interest rates and 50% are open variable rates. And that kind of gives me a little bit of exposure to both types of interest rate environments. And then beyond that, I would just recommend, if you have multiple properties, don't have them all come up for renewal at the same time, because that could really hit you hard if, say, there is a correction, whether it's a loss of equity or simply a dramatic increase in interest rates. So I just try and pepper the renewals consistently throughout the future, rather than kind of get hit with them all at once. Little steal.
$1 million advice there.
Thank you. What's the prices like in Windsor and London? Do you want to talk about the London market for Dirty Burger, Jeff?
Sure. So it's still very competitive, around the $200,000 to $300,000 range around here for the I always call it the boyfriend girlfriend looking to go buy a home. So if your investment property that you're looking to get to put a tenant into there fits the category of an emotional home buyer, you kind of want to walk away from it immediately. Like, if you get there and there's 50 shoes at the front door, you're probably last to the party and you're not going to get a good deal, because some emotional home buyer is going to overpay on that property. So I always say it's not for my investors if I ever see that. And then if it's too cheap and you get into 100,000s in London, now you're battling the flippers that are potentially better buyers than you can ever be if you need to finance a property, because they can come in cash, and their cash is going to speak a lot better than your financed and home inspections and all this stuff. The higher end stuff in London is still a bit slow right now. Now we're getting into September. If you guys were going to sell, obviously it's a lot better to sell in the summer or somewhere between the February all the way into July kind of thing, because people want to move and sell their properties and be ready for school, which starts I think tomorrow. So for the elementary.
Does it? I was trying to think of that. Yeah.
So now you're kind of screwed if you're like, I have a residential home I got to put on the market this week. I'm going to be interested to see how it goes, because if they're buying and then their kids can go to the same schooling, then it's not going to be a big deal. But if they're moving from another city, this property is no longer important to them, because they need to already be here.
It definitely.
So our buyer pool is smaller now.
You would expect, yeah.
We'll see, maybe I'll be surprised on that. But generally speaking, that's usually what happens. As for the Windsor market, not an expert, but you guys are down.
Yeah, it seems like there's a wide range of opportunities in Windsor. if you're familiar with the London, Ontario market, I think one of the best ways to describe it is just think about London, Ontario, 2 to 4 years ago, and those are sort of the price ranges you're looking at now. So it's far easier to find properties to meet the 1% rule. Student rentals are highly attractive from what we've seen so far. It seems like a very unique market for investing in student rentals. And again, Seeded Developments, or Buddy John, is the one that kind of opened our eyes to that. But beyond that, there's a lot of pockets and neighborhoods that feel very similar to London, Ontario. So,
and there's no rental rules.
yeah, so it's a much more friendly environment for landlords in Windsor, where in London, Ontario, we got rental licensing. And rental licensing, property standards inspections, and a lot of those things which can, it just, at a minimum, it adds more hassle to being a landlord. But at its worst case scenario, it can make it very difficult, frustrating, and become an obtuse process where it's much more difficult to understand what's going to be allowed, what's going to be grandfathered, what isn't, all that sort of stuff. So,
which then, if you're good at it,
yes.
You can get
no. So it's one of those things, right, where because we do have rental licensing here in London, Ontario, it makes it more difficult for landlords. So a lot of people are just going to shrug and avoid London, Ontario, which does create some opportunity for those of us that are willing to really learn those rules and operate within them. So different strokes for different folks, but I definitely think Windsor's exciting. Outside of Windsor, other markets that I think people should be giving more respect to are Chatham and Sarnia. Windsor in particular, we find attractive because they're doing the 2 big bridge projects. The schools have been expanding there as well. So all that seems positive. We keep hearing things about Detroit kind of revitalizing, or parts of Detroit revitalizing. That seems like a net benefit for Windsor as well. But then we also have long-term, hopefully, infrastructure projects in Ontario that will link Windsor and Toronto with a high-speed rail. And if that occurs, it's expected that there'll be a station in Chatham, and that's one of the things that makes Chatham really attractive to us. Outside of that, for Chatham, another reason we find it attractive is right now Union Gas's parent company has been acquired, I'm drawing a blank right now, by Enbridge, and there's a lot of uncertainty around the employment picture in Chatham, so that creates some fear in the market. The market's seeing a lot of pressure on prices going up. But now that, Union Gas, we're kind of hearing that expect a 20, 30, 40% reduction in headcount there due to the acquisition, that creates some uncertainty, which creates some opportunity for investors, and it's still quite easy to find a 1% real Chatham. Sarnia's got the big petrochemical plants, and there's a big Nova plant expansion, I believe, and so again, that should create massive job opportunities from my understanding. I believe both in Windsor and in Sarnia, because of the bridges and the Nova expansion, respectively, that they're literally looking at having to set up work camps and stuff, because it's going to be such an influx of employees or job opportunities. So again, that should create a lot of pressure for the type of rental properties we'd like to invest in. So any sort of positive employment perspectives, usually a net positive for any of the Southwestern Ontario real estate market that we invest in. Yeah. So lots more going on in the comment section. Someone's talking about Guelph. We've just started dabbling in Guelph, so I don't know a lot about it. It's really expensive in Guelph. Beyond that, I don't know a ton. Dirty Burger was wondering what's the condition of the properties you were talking about before, Jeff, in that 200-300 range or 1% rule properties.
The condition, if they're close to 300, they're probably relatively moved. The problem is after the mortgage rules changed in January, this is what a lot if you have a job, this is the house that you can afford pretty much. You just have a job, you can probably afford a property between $200,000 and $300,000. So it's extremely competitive. So even if the conditions aren't amazing in the house, or it's dated, whatever, somebody's offering that weekend, and they're going to go over asking because they've lost the other 3, 4, 5 weekends before that. So sometimes conditions don't even overly matter, and somebody just overpays. If it's listed really high, rated at 300, and it's in mint condition, it's going to go over even more. So that's happening. However, what I got the other day, guys? I had a property under contract, and there was a bit of issues during the home I actually got a home inspection, and I negotiated a price drop from the home inspection.
Yeah, which was a foreign concept.
Haven't done that in a while. You usually just sign the papers and...
Yeah, so the market feels still kind of choppy is what I've been describing it, where you don't really know for certain what's going on. There's a question, Jeff, that I got a feeling we're being trolled, but I just kind of like it, so I'm going to allow it. So I'm going to assume this is a question for Jeff. Okay. So Arch Stanton wants to know, is it true that there's a place in a man's head that if you shoot it, it'll blow up? I don't even know where it came from.
I would assume your head will explode if you get shot with a bullet to the head. Yes. Unless, actually, guys, headshots don't really count. Okay, like you get shot here and here, you can actually live or at least shoot back a bit. You want to be able to shoot between this part, a little triangle, your eyes, and up right in between your eyebrows. If you can hit that triangle spot, because like when I was training back in the army, I used to they have like the posters on the the things, and you walk in and then you shoot, and I'd be like, I got headshots. They're like, no, you shot them in like the air. And I'm like, they're critiquing my headshots. That's how awesome this school is. So that's where they taught me. So there you go. Your head will explode if you can shoot between this triangle. Nowhere else.
So Jeff says only teabag if you get in the triangle. Otherwise,
yeah, then you gotta come up and teabag. Everything else just a flesh wound. And if you can name that reference, flesh wound.
So Lee was just talking a little bit more about Windsor, talking about the $2 billion in infrastructure that's going to be done. Yeah, that's the exact sort of stuff we're excited about. Not sure if Peter's going to come down with us to Windsor or not on Thursday. To be determined.
Just want to say, I was talking with Peter this weekend, and he was all like, everybody's having like barbecues and stuff because it's the long weekend in North America right now, and he's like, I'm just hungry to keep going, and like he was on a power drive of like pumping up content and working on my videos. And
so well, I forget if I was talking to you or Adam Martin, but I was saying that, you know, I really look forward to long weekends just because it's like an opportunity when people leave you alone because they are busy at the cottage or they go to the barbecues or whatever, which then means like I get time to think or plan or just like time to like be left alone with your thoughts.
We listed 2 properties on Friday and I had a seller on Saturday. Like everybody always thinks it's hit and miss. Like do you list before or you do open houses on long weekends and this and that. So we listed before and then it's a bit of crickets on Saturday. And first thing the sellers do is panic. And I was like, you know what? In today's world, you're going to be at the barbecue now. This property is already listed on the Friday or the Thursday or whatever. And your agent's probably away as well. If you're sitting around the pool or the barbecue, you're probably on realtor.ca. And you might see it, and then guess what I'm getting now? The Tuesday showing requests. Because that's when your agent came back. So it's not the end of the world to list your properties before the long weekend. It changes now. If you wait and list, everybody used to think, even when I first got in, like, list on the Tuesday after the long, guaranteed tomorrow's matrix is going to be swamped. But the problem is now you're joining all that competition.
No, there's a lot more.
And everybody already saw yours all weekend while they're having
and I wonder if people don't then have to catch up on work and shit.
And everything.
So like you got less time to fuck around and like
I think I'm smart. Let me know if you think I'm.
I think that there's at least a strong argument to be made there. So.
It's one of those ones you'll never really 100% know, but I'm going with it. Let me know. I think Lee shared this in the Wind City.
Oh, sweet. Thanks, Lee. Appreciate you sharing it. Do you recommend a condo or a house for a first-time rental investment, Jeff?
It's going to depend on who you are. If you want the condo corp to be your property manager for the most part, and then do that because not too much is going to happen to your condo. If this is like a condo in a high-rise or even like the townhouse where the condo corp takes care of a lot of maintenance, you as a landlord don't have to do that, and that fits a lot of people's investing. But if you probably want to maximize your dollars, you're probably going to want to go for a single-family home or something, or then get into the multifamily homes and all that, where you're in charge of it, or you're in charge of hiring a property manager. But like certain markets with appreciation, you buy these condos, and it can act like a stock. You literally buy floor 32 close the door, and potentially that property goes up in value. Sure, put someone in there for $2 grand a month. Like, I'm talking like Toronto's and Vancouver's and all that.
Yeah, it's definitely how a lot of those people are approaching it.
Right, so then they're not going to want a house where the grass has to be cut and a roof needs to be replaced. They just, but then obviously they have to determine if condo fees are going up.
Well, and like one argument, you know, I'm never going to tell people to invest for appreciation, but one of the things about a condo, particularly like in a high-rise environment like Jeff's talking about, is it's much more apples to apples, where an individual house can have a lot more character and uniqueness, which can make it more difficult to know exactly what your comps are, where if you're like on that 32nd floor, you know, you probably have a great base of comps built in. I don't think it's a great long-term investing strategy, but one thing people should be aware of if you're going to be investing in condos, and particularly if you're investing in those condos to be rental properties, is make sure you understand where the condo board stands on rental properties. Airbnb, student rentals, yeah, and people lose a lot of money, or at least end up with a less ideal opportunity because they didn't do their homework.
I've seen agents not even follow.
It's crazy, right? Like,
and you're like, oh god.
Yeah, there's just no excuse for it, but definitely if you're looking at buying condos, make sure you understand what your game plan is with that condo, and then whether the condo board will allow you to do it. Because our buddy Matt Boucher invests in a lot of condos in Cambridge, Kitchener-Waterloo area, and he'll specifically try and get on the condo board to outlaw student rentals because it doesn't fit into his business practices. So, you know, if you were buying that condo as a student rental and all of a sudden it gets outlawed, that drastically changes your approach as an investor. So something you really do need to be aware of.
We have said it multiple times back on the Cash Flow Ghost show. Buy these condos or the single family homes or the multifamily properties based on like one occupancy tenant, and if the numbers work on that or whatever, like 2 people, normal renters, and then start doing the student stuff and then the Airbnb, because like you don't want those things to be outlawed and then you don't cash flow. So you want those to be like the dessert, and everything else is just like your normal food. So just play it safe. Make sure cash flows normally with 2 people living in it.
Exactly.
And then do all your funky stuff, and then if you get shut down, then you just go back to, oh no, I'm back to the normal landlording of Canada. So
yeah. And so RVing, we go asked, is there demand for Airbnb in Windsor? And I think this expands just beyond Windsor. I feel like people just ask, is there demand for Airbnb in London? Is there demand for Airbnb in Chatham? Is there demand for Airbnb in this specific neighborhood or this specific street or out in the suburbs? And I think overall the answer is you'd be surprised.
Well, you even take my brother's Airbnb in London.
I don't.
If you're looking at it now, it's nothing that we would think necessarily. The students, yes, but then that's not the people that rent the Airbnb.
Right. Yeah.
So then, you wouldn't think it would rent, and then every weekend he has like no vacancies ever. So you almost have to change your strategy. You think it needs to be downtown or something? Not necessarily. They're looking at a map of your city from wherever city they're coming from. They're just like, yeah, looks like it's a 10-minute drive to where I need to be. And then they don't know there could be 20 stoplights and it might take 40 minutes, but.
Yeah, and so I just saw, I'm probably going to mispronounce this, but Eunice just asked if we have a course on wholesaling or finding private deals. So yes. So in the video description on this video, you'll find a link to the blueprint to wholesale. It's a course that our buddy Dylan McLaughlin's put together. I fully endorse it. We also have a private Facebook community that goes along with it. And so there's a ton of value in that course, but I think there's even more value just in the private Facebook community. And so in that Facebook community, people are sharing their exact strategies. One of the guys in particular, Joel, has been sharing his entire process throughout. And it's been a lot of fun seeing him grow. And he's like kind of experimenting and tasting and testing different approaches. So yeah, if you're interested in that, I highly recommend you at least check it out. We're very proud of it. And again, you know, I guess I didn't mention it in this video, but if you buy it today, let's say, I'll give a free coaching call with myself, Adam, Martin, and Dylan, so you can get all 3 of us on the phone. But wait, there's
more.
But yeah, selling this stuff still doesn't come overly naturally to us, guys, but if you got questions, feel free to ask. You know, if you have concerns that might not be the right fit for you, let us know and we'll tell you whether we think it's going to be a win-win for you. Because at the end of the day, you know, we didn't I didn't make 400 YouTube videos in order to sell a $300 course. This is just kind of a peripheral. This is just a way for me to help try and justify I'm a cameraman. So, you know, we're not approaching this as a transactional relationship. We'd much rather you guys get the right information that you need. And for some of you, it may not be right, but if you're looking to become a real estate investor, if you're looking to get private deals, or if you want to dabble with wholesaling, I highly recommend you check it out. So Philip Robbins was asking, have you guys come across any good companies to manage Airbnbs in smaller cities like London, Windsor, KW? They exist in TO, but what are your thoughts on managing these in smaller places? So yeah, good question. I'm not aware of anyone that does it on a large scale in all these small cities. That being said, our buddy Matt and Cassidy from Windsor, they're involved in a Airbnb adjacent startup right now that is looking to roll that out into a lot of cities. So I don't think it exists today the way most people would want it, but I think it'll be there very soon. So like, I think literally you wait 6 months, a year, 18 months tops, and we're gonna see a lot of Airbnb management companies come up. And again, it's just gonna be such a great, got my magnets under control. Yeah. And I think it's just going to be another great opportunity to create a turnkey rental property. And I'd much rather have that turnkey Airbnb than a turnkey condo, just personally. Now it was a turnkey condo Airbnb.
I'd like you to speak about Matt and Cassidy on their approach to university and what they spend their money on.
Oh yeah.
Because like this can fall into the wholesaling course that you're selling, or Vegas, or OREC, or anything. Like, they're always constantly.
Yeah, so Matt and Cassidy, if you guys hadn't checked it out, check out their videos with me earlier on my channel at some point. Don't leave this video right now though. But yeah, fascinating story. They both dropped out of university to become essentially full-time entrepreneurs / real estate investors. They've slowly built up a massive portfolio. They're like 24, 25 years old. They got like, I think over a dozen properties now. Hard to keep track. There's so many people that have so many properties in our network now that it's so hard to keep track of what, like, who knows how many properties Kevin has now, right? Or Dylan, or all the guys. Michael Rosehart's buying one a week. There's so many people doing so many awesome things, but Matt and Cassidy take a very unique approach to how they learn. So not only did they take that leap of faith, which was dropping out of university, which, you know, almost everyone's parents would say you're crazy for doing that, to become a real estate investor, entrepreneur, real estate agent, to follow that sort of line of learning. And yet, what they've done is they literally just set aside X amount of money or X percent of money they earn every year and invest that in learning opportunities. So they're really big fans of Tony Robbins, so they'll spend it to go to a Tony Robbins weekend. They'll spend it to come to Vegas, and they're coming to Vegas, and they're going to be two great examples of really awesome young entrepreneurs that are crushing it that you can meet and network with in Vegas. But essentially what they'll do is they'll set aside thousands of dollars every year to invest in themselves, to invest in relationships, to invest in experiences, rather than, you know, paying that one-time cost of tuition. And I think that it's something we're going to see become more and more common as time progresses, where you pay X amount to get that really specific lesson from this person, or to spend time with that mentor, that guru, that coach. I know one of the things Cassie was just telling me she bought was that Sam Owens guy's course. So I'm really excited to find out what it's like. And it sounds like she's got a lot of value from it so far, because he always just seems like that unique character on his YouTube videos where he just seems like, it always just feels just a little off to me. But I was really excited to hear that she bought it, because I was like, I want to hear what your experience is about it. And so, you know, they've also done, there's that thing.
Rich Dad, did they do Rich Dad?
Yeah, they did Rich Dad originally. And then they also did, it's something I've been thinking about doing in London, or in Toronto. It'll come to me later, I'll just blurt it out with you guys. But yeah, they're constantly experimenting and investing in these learning opportunities, these networking opportunities. And I think that they're going to do really well for themselves because of it. It's the same thing that we're doing by all our networking, by hosting all these events and stuff, is your network is your net worth. And I think we just all need to become more cognizant of that. So yeah, so as Jeff was saying, really unique couple, and they have a really unique approach to learning. I think you guys should also check them out. They've started producing more YouTube content on their own channel. So I think if you search Cassidy.
Somebody bought an OREC ticket.
Oh, sweet. Thanks, guys.
Nathan, is there Nathan in the chat?
Could Yeah, I haven't seen Nate in a bit, but yeah. So Dirty Burger was asking how much money is really in Airbnb. I looked at buying a cottage and B&B in it, but doing comps. Yeah, so the one thing I think that you should really take into consideration is when we're talking about doing the Airbnb, we're often not talking about vacation rentals. We're actually just talking about rental properties and converting them for Airbnb purposes. And so, you know, Jeff's brother Phil is probably the best example. He's literally doubling his gross rents through Airbnb. And so recently I started experimenting on it, and we'll need to do an update video going in depth with you guys. But me and my business partner, Adam Steeper, we've switched over to my old apartment, the one where I used to do all the whiteboard videos, and we probably rent that out for say maybe $13.50 on the high end per month for rents. Whereas we switched it to Airbnb, and our first month of Airbnb, we grossed $2,200. So that's a pretty dramatic increase. You know, we're looking at close to doubling it based off of that one time. Now, maybe it was high because it was in the summer, it was the month of August, but you know, in a market at least like London, Ontario, I think that there's going to be tons of demand from PhD students that are coming to defend their thesis, that's the word I was looking for. Or, you know, people that are coming in just for, you know, we got lots of like headquarters and stuff, so London Life and a bunch of other large companies that have major presences in London that rather than go and stay at that bland hotel, I think people would rather get more space and more homey feel by having their own kitchen. I know when I used to be an auditor and traveling a lot, I'd hate staying at Airbnbs, like, not Airbnbs, at true B&Bs or hotels or motels, because like, then all you did was like eat crap, right? Like you only could either go to a restaurant or get takeout food essentially. And I knew
you could be there for a month, right?
Yeah, like I spent like 2 or 3 months in Orangeville at a tiny little B&B, and like it was nicer than the hotels or motels there at the time because at least I had my own fridge and a microwave, but like it wasn't a big, and yet I was excited to have that because it meant a little bit less eating out. So yeah, I think that there's a lot more Airbnb opportunities than most of us think at first blush, because like we were saying, Bill's rental doesn't make sense if you're looking to target vacationers, right? Like, who wants to vacation in the middle of like Huron Heights?
So I saw him yesterday morning, and the people leaving, they were here for a wedding, right? So like it's all that kind of stuff too, right?
Yeah, and like that's a great example.
They come home at 3 in the morning, they slept till 9 in the morning, and they went home.
Yeah, and so yeah, I think that it's just going to become more and more common because when you look at it, you know, you end up being able to have more people stay for less money. Even if your Airbnb is in a less convenient location than the hotel, you get more space. If they factor in even the cost of that extra money for the Uber to and from, they still end up ahead financially. They end up ahead from like an accommodation perspective, in my opinion. And you also have a more lax experience. You know, hotels have very strict kind of rules and processes and procedures, where Airbnb, it's a little bit more lax. It's a little bit more of the Wild West too. So, yeah. What else is going on here? But yeah, if you guys are currently Airbnb properties, jump in the comment section. Let us know what's your experience like.
And we're going to be doing a course on it as well. I don't know if you mentioned that. Shave that beard.
Yeah. Shave that beard. Well, someone buys a wholesale course and wants me to. I'll do it. Although I literally did just go to the barber like last week or 2 weeks ago, so I just got it trimmed. Someone's, I think that's a Post Malone lyrics, or some sort of lyrics there.
Oh, at least everybody's having fun. In the
Yeah, hey, it counts as engagement, so I'll take engagement where I can get it. Oh, Jonathan just jumped in the comment section. Hey man, what's King of Windsor right here? So, yeah, Lee just promotes Insta nonstop. So, this guy out of blue, but Alan K was just asking why I quit drinking. Yeah, I just quit drinking. It wasn't adding value to my life anymore. So I just kind of looked at it, you know, once I hit financial independence, retired early, it became really easy to become everyone's drinking buddy, simply because I always had free time. So, you know, you'd go have drinks with buddy on Tuesday, a different friend on Wednesday, another person on Thursday. All of a sudden you realize that you drank for all the nights in a row, where you could easily drink every single night in a month, and it just wasn't adding value to my life. So I decided in 2018 to take a year off from it. months into it. So far, so good. So I haven't noticed a significant decrease in the quality of my life by cutting it out. I'm not saying everyone needs to do it. I'm just saying for myself. What's that?
John saying you got one room booked from a German. You can move the arrow.
Oh, for 1 month at 100 a night.
Oh,
Nice.
So $3,000 for one room.
Yeah, that's massive, right? Like it, and so yeah, this is one of the things. We were talking about Airbnb earlier. One of the things that blow my mind is John has these, 10 plus bedrooms for student rentals, and you'll keep one of the bedrooms and put it on Airbnb. So the person's literally just Airbnb a bedroom in a shared living situation.
So if I never thought about this before, but how many times, maybe for you, but for me, definitely in the last 5 years, with my 3 bedrooms, and one of the people they break up with, they hate each other all of a sudden, and three roommates love each other in first year in res, and then they move out, and then Sally doesn't do the dishes or whatever Sally does, pisses off the other 2 girls or whoever it is, boys. Imagine, all right, let's cut a little deal here. Let her go. Now it's your turn. We're gonna Airbnb this. You guys have to do the laundry, blah blah blah.
Well, and that's what John's doing, where he incentivizes the people, and you charge whatever your $30, $40, $50 cleaning fee on Airbnb, and he'll just literally pay it to one of the other roommates. And so it's a way for the roommates to not only accept the fact that Airbnb is going on, but like actually be excited by it and engaged and try and help it be successful, because the more stays, the more money they make. And if you're a student and you can make $40, $50 for, an hour or 2 of cleaning, that's a net win. I definitely would have done that in my years at university, so I think that's a great idea. So yeah, Jeremy was asking, I'm not the one running the numbers or like running the Airbnb with my student rental, or with my Airbnb, my business partner is, so I'm not sure. I don't know if that $2,200 included the cleaning fees or not, to be honest. We're literally just charging we pay cleaner, I think it's $40 or $50 to come clean, and we charge that on the Airbnb, so it's like a net wash, in my perspective. I'll do a video and dive into my exact experiences. I definitely think there's a lot of upside there right now, though. I appreciate you getting John Oddly. So we were talking about Vegas earlier at the top of the show, John, but like we were saying, Vegas is just going to be a one-of-a-kind mastermind networking opportunity. And so in particular, if you guys didn't hear already, we're doing, video bios. So you're going to get like a 1 to 5 minute video bio of every single person attending, just so you can kind of speed up the networking opportunity. So you can already maybe, highlight 4 or 5 people that you want to make a deep connection with that weekend, and you can kind of like laser focus in on them. Beyond that, I'm going to be launching a new feature on YouTube or a new podcast or some combination of the two called, Matt McKeever's Mastermind. I was trying to figure out how to get 4 M's in the title, because I didn't want 3 M's because I'm missing my mustache. So you guys, Matt McKeever's Magnificent Mastermind podcast or something? I don't know. Let me know, give me a name for it. But essentially what I'm going to do is, for every single person that's attending Vegas that's willing to sit down and do a podcast with me, I'm going to do an hour-plus interview with them. And again, this is going to be an even better opportunity for you to learn about all your co-attendees at Vegas, so that, I'm sure John will be on it. John's coming to Vegas, and so it'll be an hour-plus conversation of me and John talking about what he's into, what he's up to, and what he sees going on in the future. And it's going to be an opportunity for you to get a better perspective of who and what John's about, so that when you come to Vegas, so that you can really get to know him if you want to get to know him. And maybe you'll decide that John's not your cup of tea, but I got a feeling you will. And then beyond that, we're going to do the Dragon's Den or Shark's Tank and Reverse Shark's Tank for Vegas event as well. And so what that's going to look like is, a lot of us are familiar with the idea of Dragon's Den, simply where we have a panel of people and a bunch of guests come and present business opportunities or investment opportunities. And so we want to do that because we want everyone to grow their net worth and their network at this event. But we're also going to do the flip side of it, where we're going to preemptively, or through a pre-selection process, we're going to determine a handful of opportunities that we think are really exceptional, and have people present those opportunities and have a panel of investors pitch that person for the opportunity to invest in it. So, you know, maybe it'll be someone like John talking about a really exceptional student rental property, and then we'll have 5 different investors that will try and pitch John on why they should let him partner. And so, obviously there's going to be some deals happening, so that's exciting, and there's lots to learn from that, but even more so, even if you're not going to be the one partnering on that deal, by having, say, 4 or 5 investors pitch one opportunity, you're going to really get an idea that when it comes to real estate investing or any sort of business transaction, that all the terms are negotiable. And so I think far too often people think price is the only term you can negotiate on, whether it's for real estate or business. But this event is really going to highlight for you that, no, it's about the relationships. It's the, hey man, I just graduated university, so I can come move to Windsor and, you know, help you crush it. Or, hey man, I love that, you know, business is running in Nevada. I can come move here and spend the next 6 months, and I don't need to make money as long as I have free rent. Like, we want to create some really unique, crazy opportunities for everyone. Create those win-win opportunities that we're always talking about. We've done it on a micro scale here in London, Ontario. We want to do it on a macro scale or a North America-wide scale by doing this Vegas event. So that's kind of what the Vegas is all about to me. I don't know if you wanted to touch on Jeff. I'm just going to get some more water. But I guess we've been going for an hour and a half.
No water?
Do you want water?
No, I'm good. Yeah, it's honestly super excited about like the amount of people already up on our board there that are coming to Vegas. Hit me up in the DMs if you guys got questions. If you need some payment plans, let me know. I can put you guys on that. You're not you know, Lee just put down all his money the other day. So if you're not Lee, let me know. We can put you on a payment plan. We got our courses up for sale. And yeah, a lot of meetups coming up. Like we said, we're gonna do a limo tour in Windsor upcoming.
Oh yeah, John, we were just talking about it. Let's do an exclusive student rental limo tour in Windsor. Let's make it happen.
Let's do it. What else we got going on?
Well, I was gonna say just otherwise for the Vegas opportunity. You know, obviously our network includes a lot of real estate investors, but we're looking to invite a lot of people outside of real estate as well.
Right.
So I don't want people just thinking that it's solely about real estate. It's really about anything entrepreneurial, anything about business relationships, building them, improving yourself, improving your business. That's what Vegas is going to be all about. So I know we've still been relatively sparse on details. I've been writing up a lot of the marketing copy this weekend, so look for that to start getting plugged on social media later this week. Then beyond that, yeah.
What's our prices right now?
So I think we haven't, this is what I'm thinking. So my thinking is we continue with the pre-sale pricing until September 10th. That would put us exactly 60 days out. So if you guys buy your ticket, if you commit to your ticket before September 10th.
And that can be with the payment plan.
Yeah, and so that's only 1,300 Canadian or like $1,000 American for a single room and ticket. That includes like your meals for the weekend, it includes some alcohol if you drink, it includes kind of unfettered access to the entire hotel and all of our speakers, sponsors, and attendees. And I think that that's where the real value is, but it's just going to be such a unique opportunity. On the flip side of it, if you and your partner want to come, whether that's, you know, a romantic partner or a business partner, you can buy, I keep getting confused, is it $2,200? $2,200 for a king-size room and have 2-person occupancy and 2 tickets to the Vegas event, or you can get a room with 2 single beds and have a roommate and save yourself, you know, a little bit of money that way. And so I know we've had a few people ask about like, hey, I don't really want to stay at the hotel or whatever. If you don't want to stay at the hotel, I don't think that you fully understand what we're trying to do with this event. There's a ton of value in being on the grounds, and that's why right now the only way you can buy tickets is with your room reservation, simply because we want you to be able to stay up till 3 or 4 a.m. in, you know, someone else's room talking about real estate or Shopify or Fulfilled by Amazon or whatever it is that gets you pumped about entrepreneur endeavors. And that's why it's really important to me that everyone stay at the hotel, just because I want those random bump-in opportunities, those random networking opportunities. I want you guys to get to meet every single attendee there. And the only way that's going to happen is if essentially we all commit to staying there that weekend.
Yeah, and to people that have already committed, they don't necessarily want the person that didn't commit to the weekend.
Yeah, because they're all in.
They're all in, and they don't want to be talking to somebody that wasn't all in, but snuck in kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. So that just kind of give you guys some perspective on why we're approaching it the way we are. We literally are trying to treat this like a little cruise ship on land. And maybe next time we'll do it on a cruise ship. If you got a cruise ship connection, let us know.
I don't want to stay on the cruise ship. Can I take my small dinghy boat?
Right, yeah. I'll just ride in your wake.
I'll see you at port, and I'll learn all about it at the port, and then you guys can go sail again.
Yeah, right. So yeah, so I'm just trying to catch up. There's so many comments going on. Appreciate all the engagement, guys. This has been fantastic. Yeah, so as Lee mentioned, we're 30% sold already. So we're very excited and pumped by that.
Well, we're here too. We'll learn how to write a contract with your wholesaling course.
So yeah, so great question. So on the wholesaling course, right now we have a module that walks you through a lot of the common clauses and processes. But I'm actually going to be shooting a video this week that's going to walk you through step by step how I approach writing a contract. We're going to tease some of this content on my YouTube channel, but then the full video as well as like the actual contract that I refer to will be available for download through the Teachable course. So that's going to be kind of exclusive.
And there's a lot of chat in the private course about the strategies on the contract. So not just how to write a contract.
Yeah, so the thing is, if you're in the Facebook group, which comes along with the Teachable course, you can then literally just post in the group and be like, hey guys, like, I'm not sure about this clause. And then, like myself, Dylan, Adam Martin, a bunch of guys jump in the comment section and share with you how we approach it and kind of what our thoughts are on the subject matter. So, yeah, great question. So, yes, the answer is yes. The module isn't fully up yet, but it will be in the near future. And if you buy your ticket, that'll just light it fire under my ass faster. So
what's Jonathan saying here?
Also appreciate you trying to keep my beard from getting cut off, Smokey. Jonathan, the concept for Vegas is so powerful. Networking is the most important thing in my opinion, period. And I'm so excited about this this facilitates that. Incredible concept, guys. Thanks, John. Really appreciate it. And yeah, I think John got it from day one, kind of what we're trying to do with it. It's just, once you've done networking the right way, once you've made a couple really powerful connections and got extreme value from it, you'll never look at networking the same way again. So if up until this point, your experiences with networking have just been trading business cards and, you know, shuffling your feet and trying not to make eye contact with super awkward people, give Vegas a try. It's going to be unlike any other networking event or experience you've ever had. It's really going to be one of a kind.
I love the people that were already in, like, so I'm doing this mastermind in Vegas, build me.
Yeah, like John and Alicia, Matt and Cassidy, like, they were definitely some of our true champions.
Like, we're
and like Lee, really appreciate it too. Yeah,
like, I want to be first.
Yeah, so Lee was saying this up, your website doesn't work, I can't buy my ticket. And it's like,
take my money.
Appreciate that. Yeah.
Take my money.
Which also shows you we're not fly-by-night hucksters because we didn't even set that up right.
Your beard's getting all the chat.
Yeah. Yeah, so we're just kind of catching up on comments there, guys. But yeah, sorry, there's just a lot going on in the comments. There's been awesome YouTube live. It looks like, oh no, okay, we're just busy reading. Still 19 people watching, got 16 likes, only one dislike.
Some person did the down thumb.
Yeah.
That's alright.
They're just mad because they can't come to Vegas.
Yeah, fine. We'll make all of
They wanted to come for free.
Okay.
Jeff's hair, Matt's beard. Yeah, think of those opportunities you can get, right? All the hair. Appreciate the feedback on the sound. Yeah, it's one of those things where we seem to never fully satisfy people with the sound. Right now, just to give you guys an idea, this is being shot on my iPhone 7, I think it is. And then what I have simply is a little, whatever, attachment dongle thing that then lets me plug in a normal audio jack. And from that, I have my Rode mic plugged into that. So the mic I usually use for all my YouTube content. So it's a lot better than if I just use the native mic on my iPhone. However, that being said, I think between internet connection issues and just the fact that, you know, we don't have a studio that's outfitted properly, so this is almost a bare room right now. You know, we don't got padding everywhere to muffle echo and bounces and all that. But yeah, definitely appreciate the feedback. It's something we're always striving to get better at, but yeah, baby steps. So
you know, it would help. Buy some courses. Maybe we can afford some audio equipment.
So yeah, so I don't know if we got moved around or whether that's the same question from before, but the answer is yes, you will learn how to write a contract with the wholesaling course, 100%. If you don't, and you bought it, DM me any of your questions and we'll make sure you figure it out. John, if you're still watching this, are you on Instagram? If so, share your Instagram handle in the comment section so people can jump on and watch it. So yeah, otherwise, I guess it's been literally an hour and a half now of us YouTube living. Appreciate all of you guys that jumped in the comment section, all of you that have supported us through buying courses, smashing the like button, coming to Vegas, however you choose to support us. It does mean a lot to us. I really appreciate it. This week, probably still going to be a little light on my channel for content. I'll maybe only have 2 or 3 videos come out, but hopefully the week after that, I'll kind of have my new format set up. I just kind of set up a new Scrum board, trying to figure out that process. Yeah. Otherwise, what's on the agenda for you this week, Jeff? Anything you want to share?
Networking events, if you can imagine.
Oh yeah, we got a Cash Flow Go event Wednesday in Toronto. So if you guys are in the GTA, if you want to meet up, check out the Cash Flow Go GTA Facebook group. I think would be the best way. Hit up Mitt or hit up. Technically, you can hit up me, but I'll probably be really slow to respond. So hit up Mitt if you got any questions about the event. I'm planning to be there, so that'll be fun. Thursday, we're going to be headed to Windsor, meet up with John, shoot some more content, check out some properties, some opportunities, and what other networking stuff?
Oh, I have a
yeah.
meet up tomorrow at the
Yeah.
Hunt Club, actually.
Oh, nice, cool.
$9 million man.
There you go. So yeah.
He gets to 10, he's out.
So smash the like button if you're watching right now and you haven't done so already. Hit the subscribe button on Jeff's channel if you're not following Jeff on the YouTubes or the Instagrams. If you're new to my channel, please hit that subscribe button. It would mean a lot to me. We're narrowing on 13,000 guys. Slow but steady is winning this race. So it's been 2 years since I did YouTube too. We didn't really talk about that, but it was the 2-year anniversary, I think, like August 30th, 31st, or September 1st. It was like that weekend 2 years ago is when I launched the channel. So crazy to think it's been 2 years. Jeff's been doing YouTube hard for at least 8 months.
Yeah, since like November, December.
Yeah, so you're probably actually coming in on a year, right?
Yeah.
Which is still kind of crazy to think about that. Yeah, all right, well, I'm going to wrap this up, guys. Thank you again. Until next time, remember, making money is a team sport. There's more than enough money in this world for us to all make it, but if you're not saving it, I mean, like, what's the point? Thanks, guys. Bye. And 93 minutes.